What's up, everyone? This is Tom with the Green Dot Group. Excited to be hosting another training video as we explore all the many facets of design thinking. Today we're going to be talking about a critical activity that occurs within the design process, and that is to define the problem from our customer's perspective. As we look at that challenge, as we try to reframe the opportunity from the customer's perspective, we have to interact with the customers and really try to see the world the way that they do, and to gain perspective from their realities and really dive deep on what has been their experiences, and also across those experiences, what are their motivators and the belief systems that they use as they have those interactions. But returning to our topic for this video, deep dive interviewing. This is a method of collecting voice of the customer or input from your customers. But as you go out and you have these conversations with your customers, deep dive interviewing is much more involved and much more intimate and connected to your customers than maybe deploying a traditional survey to get feedback from your customers. I'm not saying surveying isn't important. I think it does offer some valuable insights into the customer's experiences and maybe some of the delighters, things they're excited about, or maybe some of the frustrations that they might have. But really, in the surveys, it's hard to get to know who the customer is and what their motivations might be. And the best way to do that is to engage your customers in conversations and really try to get them to share their experiences and tell their stories. So from our perspective, as designers, it's really trying to create the environment where they feel safe to open up and share those experiences. And a helpful way to conduct these interviews is to follow the anatomy of an interview. So in this, I'll show the schematic. It's the flow of the conversation in which you dive deeper past maybe what was said in the story to maybe what was meant or what was motivating that individual to do what they did in that story. So as you engage them in deep dive interviewing, the flow of the conversation is early on pretty straightforward. You're going to introduce yourself, introduce your project, and really help them understand how you'll be using their input and why it's important that they be transparent and honest in sharing their experiences. In order to make them feel safe in doing that, you'll want to build rapport. And I think one of the best ways to building rapport is to share a little bit of something about yourself and be vulnerable and show to them that you're willing to be open, and that then will invite them to be open. Once rapport is established, then you're able to begin the interviewing questions. And I think a lot of people, when they think about interviewing, they think they have to be extremely detailed and come prepared with a list of 10 to 12 questions. That's really not how these interviews are going to unfold. You're most likely going to get 1, 2, maybe 3 questions out. Again, the questions you use in deep dive interviewing are open-ended, so you're not necessarily asking yes/no questions, but really trying to get them to share a story. So as you ask these questions and they begin to walk you on this journey and share with you these experiences that they've had, you're going to listen to the story they're telling and also be mindful of the fluctuations in their voice and maybe the changes in their body language that kind of indicate that in this story they're sharing, there's a little bit more there that you can tug on and that you can go deeper on. And as you hear these fluctuations or these points in their story that need to be followed up on, keep those in mind. And as they have a break in their story, to dive deeper on the things they've told you, you'll ask follow-up questions such as, I heard you say this. Can you tell me a bit more about that? Or in that experience, you told me you did this. Can you tell me maybe what motivated you to do that? And these deep dive interviews really help to explore further, not what happened in the experience, but why it happened and what was occurring in that person's mind, or what were their feelings, or what were their emotions, their motivations that were occurring in that exchange. And as you conduct your deep dives and explored really the emotions and the details behind the scenes of the experience that was had, you're really being an investigator, and you'll ask as many deep dive questions as necessary to truly understand what's at the core of who that person is and what makes them do what they do. And once you feel like you've got a good grasp of that, you're able to then start bringing that conversation to ahead and close it out. So that's your wrap up component of the interview, which is quickly, summarizing some of the key things you heard, reminding them what you're going to do with the information and how the information they've provided you is going to be a source of inspiration for innovating and problem solving, and of course, and then with gratitude and appreciation for them being open, honest, and vulnerable, and for taking their time to share their story with you.